morning. Happy Sunday to everybody. I thought that I would just play around with August Paper Pumpkin because I haven't looked at it yet. And I just took the plastic off because it had my address on it. But as soon as I get these, I like to unbox them because I know there's sort of a billing date that happens on the 10th, and then there's one that happens on the 20th. So if you can see it in real life by the 20th, it is better. Info on how to get these is in the box thingy below. This one is called Time for Cake, so I'm guessing it is Birthday E, which is kind of interesting. Like, it's a weird season of the year because it's kind of somewhere between fall and other stuff. But let's see what we get. They have been really nice in... Oh, we have 2 stamps. Oh, this is right. Okay, so let me grab something white so you can see what I'm looking at. And goodness. Oh, here we go. Here's something white. So I think this is the month that bonus stamps came in, and I believe these are these numeric ones, which these are super hard to see, but so it looks like we got all the numbers and the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. That's what these little guys are. And in addition to that, got a little banner. Don't know what we're going to use the banner for, but basically these are probably for birthday numbers. Unless you're me and you're old and you don't need them. But it would be cute if you had a kid. And numbers are more usable. I think there is and then we got a bunch of sentiments and like confetti and stuff. So I would put money this is a birthday thing. And what color ink did we get this time? Night of Navy, a personal favorite. I'll probably use the big one because I like the foam pads a lot better than the other ones. What's the word I'm looking for? These are felt, and you can buy more of these if you like a felt pad, but I like the squishiness of the other guys. Let me get my box out of the way. I didn't really save these, but they are decent cardboard. You could use them for something if you wanted to. I do like the ones that are more like kid specific, but we'll deal with that at a later date. And we just have our everything. And yes, these look like birthday things. I don't know. I was able to stay away from all the actual marketing on this thing, which is unusual. Usually I have to work really hard to like not see what this is, but we will see. We have some really neat looking stuff, I gotta say. This is very much in alignment with the widely flowering sweet / paper / all that stuff. You know, you see all this blue and whatnot. Let me wind down. We have this really neat like iridescent purple twine we'll take a look at in a second. I think I'm getting comments from everywhere, so let me know. I did try to go live on Instagram this time, which I haven't done before. Anyway, what we're getting is a lot of... So this blue, this mauve, these look like through the 2023 in colors. And these are... I don't know what these are. This is a mystery. Doesn't look like a card base, but these are not punched out, so we'll see. I know I could look at the instructions. And then we have some foam dimensionals. These are, I think, the mini ones. Yeah, as you can see, these are like really small. So these are the mini ones. So we have some panels. Maybe? Looks like we have full, these are like full card front panels, but these don't look like they're scored. So I don't think they are card bases. If you are new, I guess what things are before seeing them. But here you can see sort of the purple, like the soft purples and oranges and browns and stuff. I think this is basically, and then we have some pinks. These are neat. I never really get a ton of use out of pretty envelopes, quite honestly. I'd be a lot more likely to cut these up and just use the pieces, which you can certainly do. There's a whole industry around doing other variations. The other thing to note is the cardstock that comes in here is printed and is on the thinner side compared to like, well, we were just looking at this card stock. This is a lot thicker. Like, as you can see, this is a lot less floppy than this guy. So what you can always do if you want a beefier card base is just you can cut along the score line and take the front panel off if you want to. I actually like these kits for travel more than anything else, but you do you, certainly. So we have 3 card bases. This does most of the work of at least one kit. And then we have these cool little candle things. Oh, this is interesting. So this is like a trifold, more than a trifold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-fold. So this is probably going to be a really interesting interactive piece. So this one I may leave alone and actually read the instructions. Here we go. So this is what has been coming in here lately, which is great because you can like it gives you the entire stamp set, right? So that's what this one is. These are, I believe, slightly bigger than real life. No, I lied. These are exactly the same size. So this is the bonus number stamp set we got, and then we have our little very birthday-y sentiments. Then we have pink card bases. I'm curious. This is not immediately making sense to me how this all goes together. So this will be neat. So pink card bases are our second one. And then we get into, we have some pretty neat little chevrons that we can definitely punch out. Hey, Cordelia, good morning. I hope you are well. We are playing with August Paper Pumpkin, and per my usual, I am trying to figure out how things work before figuring out how things work. We do have some glue dots. I almost never use these because usually I make these at home, and I prefer to use a tape runner, but those are included. I guess it is worth mentioning that the thing that's, I think these are these are stickers. Sentiment stickers, really nice. I'm guessing these coordinate with these somehow, but I do like it when stickers are used because it's way less of a pain than gluing down things. Then we have some tags, and we have banners that look just like those stamped banners. So I'm guessing something goes here. We shall see what. Because it's interesting, because none of these sentiments I don't think are curved. Oh, I lied. One of them is, whatever this one is. Could use the thing where you can actually read them. So celebrate and happy birthday. So I'm guessing these curved pieces, we might do a happy birthday, kind of like that. I'm upside down, but it'll make sense eventually. And then we have a bunch of little tags. And then we get into the blinginess. Now, this is a little disappointing to me. These are all like candles, but it's too bad that we only have one sheet of foily bling. I don't think these are, oh, I lied. These are foily blinked. I won't complain too much then. These are done in a really nice sort of like a rose gold, if that's your jam. Like this is a very pink birthday kind of thing. Even though there's some of these brown colors. I don't know. We'll see. So we have 3 forks. They most likely go with the cake. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how all this stuff goes together. So we will actually look at the instructions this time. And then we get some decent chipboard, which you can use. It works really nice as an album cover if you want to make like a mini album. What do we get? We get so the blue piece is a card base. We have to figure out how to fold it because that one's kind of a fancy fold. Then the balloons and a bunch of other stuff go on top of the pink card bases. Oh, I was totally wrong. These are cake pieces. So you have the dark one. Well, I guess it's the pink this and the this. See, so these 3 are cake pieces, which then go and inset on this. Oh, that's a clever idea. I like that. And then it's Then you use the hooray on these. And there's a it's time to eat cake sentiment that you can stamp out. We will see if we do that. I actually really like I think I'm not going to mess with the cake one. I like that one. We'll see what we do. The tag says make a wish. But let's punch all this stuff out and try and sort it out. I think I do like I do like the design this month actually. But I'm curious how this works. So this is the interesting piece. So this folds up somehow. Oh, okay. So it's saying, let's see if we can't get one of these together. So there are instructions here on the fold, which hopefully that's reading on camera okay. So you start with the piece out, and the first fold here is a valley fold. It'll work like that. And then the second fold is a mountain fold. And then this fold is already in here as a mountain. And then this is, let's see now, this is a mountain, this is a valley, it looks like. And then this piece, that is not making sense to me. So it looks like, do you put adhesive? Oh, that's not adhesive, but here's a finished one. Let me see if I can zoom in the not very sophisticated way. And right here is what this finished thing looks like. So I didn't get the folds right. I got all the folds backwards. Right, so it's here, 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 here. So it's like this, right, when we're done. That makes sense. Right, and then what that's going to do is, I don't think that makes sense, though. We want, oh, I get it. So, this one is a puzzle to me. Maybe I did this exactly inverted. This is interesting because when we're done, this is a place where we're going to put all the stuff. This makes sense. And then we would want this like this, right, to map in. Maybe we can. Because then we would eventually have the bits on the end. So this we would want flat. This we would probably fold over. Maybe this one is the one I'm getting. I think this is the one. Well, so we would want this closed. We want that. Okay. So this is how they eventually we get it right. This is 2, and so the tag must go here. No, I don't think that makes sense either. So this piece is down. I think I'm looking at it in reverse, right? Because yeah. The instructions here don't seem to match. Because like this is sort of what you'd be doing at the end, right? I guess that makes sense. Yeah, this kind of makes sense. And then you would put the tag kind of on this piece, essentially. Right? Because then you would open it up and it would say, you'd open it up and then it would say make a wish. Then it would say all the inside stuffing. If I am let's see what this final one looks like. Yeah, the final one we have right because it would be here. Oh, I see. We stamp on the tag, and then the tag is connected here, and then this opens up. Okay, this is correct. Wow, that was painful. They are cool. I like the foil accents. I'd like it if the balloons were a little blingier, but anyway, now that we've struggle bust that one, let's do these other two while we can just copy what we have down. And basically, it's just this. It's this. I'm missing a fold somewhere. Oh, that's this one. And then this one is. Oh, I guess that one went down. Seems like this is more complicated. Anyway, that's pretty neat. We're going to wind up mounting these. Obviously. There we go. It's easier to do it like one side than the other side. If you were my bone folder, where would you be? Probably under stuff. Oh well, we'll use the ink as a bone folder because I'm not sure where I put my bone folder. Which is sad because I have like 3 of them. There we go. Just reinforce these. But you can use anything as a bone folder, technically. I will have to. It's weird because it was right on my desk, but so were so many things about a minute ago. Is it under here? No, it's not. I can't imagine what happened to that. This is on the floor. Oh, it is on the floor. Found it. There we go. Anywho, we have our 3 of these pieces together. I guess I should say for normal people who follow the instructions, this is, in theory, takes not very long, but so let's see. We want to maybe we'll do these cards while we're thinking of it. We have our hoorays. We have our these pieces that they stand on. These go elsewhere. We do have all these candles we can punch out and glue on, which we'll do that in a second. We just need to figure out what other piece do we need? We could just leave it at hooray too. It's time for cake is a Pink piece. Oh, it's one of these. Okay, so it's these guys are. Oh, that's wrong entirely, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Where is my brain today? Okay, so let us. So these are going to be flat cards, and the piece we just need the little tag bits that are here. And these pull out really nicely. I'm always torn as to whether or not I like the fact that these are chipped in sheets or not. And it's nice you always get an extra one of the pieces you stamp. And there's a little hole in here. Basically, how this lays out is we're just going to glue this down. I'm not going to use the twine because I'm not really a twine person, but you could use the twine if you're a twine person. It actually looked quite nice with this. Anyway, let me, since these are square, I'm going to grab my stamp wheel because I think that's going to make this stamping quite easy. And you could stick with the same color or not. Oh goodness, where did all my stuff go? Here we go. So we just want to figure out what sentiment we want on these. The tag's going to be sort of aligned like this, right? So this is the right way up. So we just need to decide. This says make a wish. That seems, the make a wish one is probably what is intended. And I like that because we have all the, there's so many candles on here. So that makes sense. Now we could do tone on tone. Hey, Linda, how are you? Oh, hey, Spruce and Glue, how are you? Welcome. You're new to me. I will have to follow your channel later, but welcome. Good morning. Let's see. I kind of thinking tone on tone. Is that crazy? I guess blue makes more sense because the whole card is blue, but I don't know. I feel like you could do this in like pink as well. It came with Night of Navy. I'm going to use Twilight because it's my favorite. It's my favorite blue ink. And VersaFine Clear is really easy to stamp sentiments with, like the first time. But the dye inks work as well. And I just got ink all over my hand. So, un momento. We will make a wish that this stamps properly, and I'm going to clean my hand quickly. Because we don't really need this all over our like nice pink card base, hopefully. And this is a pigment ink. The VersaFines are pigment inks as opposed to like dye inks, so they do take a little longer to dry, but they do tend to stay on top of the. Let me grab my pokey tool. Here we are. But they are great if you, especially if you're using a block. They're nice because you can usually stamp everything right the first time. Dye inks often you'll want to go back for a second pass just because they're a little bit. The lighter colors often I find I need a second pass with to get the saturation I like. The nice thing about dye inks though is you can build up colors, where that's not as easy to do with the pigment. I'm using my hand, but you can also use a pressure tool or a if you really want to save money, and your hockey paddle works well. This is the one I got from a friend of mine. It's maple. It's lovely. It sits on my desk, and I don't use it because I usually just my hand. Hey, mommy guys, how are you? We were playing with a kit. Oh yeah, I can zoom out. Sorry, Cordelia. I forget this is. I make you dizzy. Yeah, I don't know why I was so zoomed in. I think the cat knocked the camera. Here we go. So now you get this is my whole desk. Sorry about that. Lennox was being dramatic this morning, by which I mean He thinks that if I'm around, I should be paying attention to him. Often, so this area between above the mat often is the Lennox sleeping area, but usually not with kids because kids tend to take up my whole desk. Just gonna get any ink off of this. I do like this. The thing that Paper Pumpkin has been doing recently, slash maybe forever, because I've only been following them for a minute, is I do like when they mix the sentiment. We are not following my usual MO because I thought these were really cool cards and wanted to just make these. But typically, I will kit up everything and then go from there. This is a very thin card base, so I think I'm going to cut. Let me see what size this is. I think I'm going to cut a white one to go around it. This is 5.5. Let me grab some heavy white because I think I want to cut. These are just quarter sheets, so this should be easy unless I lost my blade. Oh well. We'll address that later. So I just need to cut this at 5.5 and then 4.25 because I want to add a little more structure here. And I just got, yeah, this is why ink on your hands is a problem. We're going to cover these up entirely, so I don't really care, but you know. If it was, that would be not great. Oh, there's the ink. Okay, let's get the ink off my hands. Since these are just like essentially going to be structural, as long as one side is clean, I think it's okay. And if it isn't, we'll be fine. Yeah, these two are fine. This is, yeah, these only have ink on one side, thankfully. Wouldn't be me if there weren't some inky fingers involved somewhere. But this is the ink I got all over my thumb and then forgot about it. There we go. Okay. Oh, you're right. I did zoom in to show the instructions and then forgot to zoom out. It seems like a thing I would do. So I'm just going to grab my adhesive here quick to reinforce these. This is about 100-pound cardstock. And because I'm going to put this, the candle piece on top of these, I would really like these to have more stability. But I would like to leave them white on the back just because that way... oh, the cat is... Lennox has decided to hang out on my bubble wrap. Anyway, so basically, I'm just making this sturdier because I feel like the person getting the card is going to open this a lot, and I would prefer, and we're going to basically leave this as a place to write. So these will go together pretty quick once we get these made a bit more sturdy. I'm just going to cover up my oopsie by using whatever side I got blue ink all over. If you did get this on a finished card, you could, of course, sort of salvage it a bit by just ink blending on the back and saying that you meant to do it the whole time. Really, for this, what I really want is just to make sure that these are lined up. They don't really want to see white on the finished card from the top. And then this one is fine on both sides. And I learned, I think last month, the trick I believe from Gloria Wolf was the just cut off the card front and then like mount it on a heavier card stock base just to give your cards a little more. Well, that would have been bad. Give your cards more Lennox. Clearly, who's here on my cards? Oh well. Wouldn't be my stream if a cat didn't show up. Now here you can see what happens when you get this little uneven. So we're just going to trim this off. That is the other approach you can take, certainly. We just need a little fly's eyelash up here, like that. I don't want to see the white, but I don't actually need anything else to be here. And then we're going to see if our cat will be ever so kind as to get off the pieces that we need. So we have 3 of these. We have 3 Make-A-Wishes. We have 1 of these. But I think the cat's under the other ones. Sir, are you under my things? Well, here's 1. We almost have all of our pieces. Excuse me, sir. Oh, yeah, here. Wow. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Please don't destroy my cards. Thank you. We'll just put this over here. Oh my. It's always something with this boy. Anyway, we have more candles that we can use to decorate. I think now would be the appropriate time to do that. Well, I believe these are, and we'll hope the cat doesn't lie on more stuff, but we get a bunch of these guys. So let me just pop these out. We'll see how many of these we want to use. We get a whole bunch. I think we get 5 per card. So spoiler, look how nicely these are cut. I've gotten some of these that in the last couple of months, just the cutting has been fantastic. And I think this is why we have those mini dimensionals, so that we can pop these up. Or at least pop some of them up. We will see. We will see if we like that look or not. But in theory, these kits are constructed where you could get them done in an hour. I usually don't. Which means, hi, if you're watching on Instagram, if you cut off at some point, feel free to bop over to YouTube to see the whole rest of the stream, because I think Instagram lives only go for an hour, and we are, I don't know, some amount of time into this. Oh, we'll at least get this card done before an hour. We're only 23 minutes in. Yes, he is here. He's slightly off camera now. He was very perturbed that I had to move him to get card bits from out from under him. So basically what we can do is take these little candles and just put them right side up, but we can sort of intermix them with these big candles. I guess I don't really want these to be dimensional, because I feel like that would make folding this thing harder for people. So I am just going to glue these flat. We get 5 per thingy. I think I definitely want them. Definitely want some on the, like down, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Like down here, I think having a few of these would be great. My glue press is technically jammed at the moment, so that is why I am using my fine tip glue bottle. But if you have a glue press, that works too. I just want to kind of frame whatever the message here is. So that, I'm going to do that with 2, and then do random things with the other 3. Wipe off any excess glue I have. This glue should dry in about 10 seconds, unless I use way too much. So I shouldn't have to worry too much. Just going to do maybe 1. We get 5, so I'll do 2 on that last panel, and then maybe 1 on each of these other ones. It is nice. I don't know. I feel like this would work fine without the candle bits. But, you can do it however you want. Maybe I'll leave this other panel here and just do the last one right here. I do like the art style on this, though. This navy and pink is a really neat idea. So I left this without any, but then I did the 5 here, and I really like how they kind of frame this at the end. Anyway, so what you're going to do is collapse this down and then figure out where you want it on here. Essentially, I'm probably going to shoot for the center. Just like that. And then I'm going to flip it and find my tape. You could also use dimensionals. We may do dimensionals on the next one just to see the difference. I'm just going to do tape and I'm going to eyeball it. If you really want to get this specifically in the middle, you can use one of those cool sewing rulers that has the little grid thingy, so you could measure this in. But I've always been more of a, like, handmade cards are handmade and people know that, and you know, a little imperfection is fine. But if you are more of a I would like it to be perfect person, other options exist, certainly. Let's just, I think I'll do this kind of like here. I sort of like it. I don't want to cover up too many of the candles. The other thing I want to be careful about is I don't want to glue the card shut. So usually if I'm using white glue, I'll get something down and then flip it and make sure there's no glue here or here. The nice thing about the wet glue is once it's dry, it's dry. And there's a little glue on the back. I'm just going to rub it with my finger. You can also use a glue eraser. It does the same thing. But this is the first one. I think we want a little bit of bling here. Let's see what we have in our bling area. I have a bunch left over from other projects. What do I have here? Oh, I have paper to write on. Yeah, I really want gold, maybe. What are these? We have, I don't know who these are from, but we have these. I think this brown would look nice with this general color scheme. I'm just going to grab one of these guys. Get it right where you would put the twine in the tag, just to add a little something. These might be not too shabby. I don't remember, but these are a very nice sort of latte brown color. I would guess these are part of some coffee collection because it's got sort of off-white, coffee colored, and other coffee colored. Hey, Belle, how are you? Good morning. So anyway, this is the first one of these, and then you open it up and you can write your message here. Very fun, a nice accordion fold. I guess the question, we'll put the other two of these together. Let's do the next one and pop it up a little bit. Pop it up. Question is, how long is this? Could you replicate this? Now this is 13.5 inches long. So this would be challenging to replicate. You could probably, if you got 11 by 17 paper, you could do it with that, but just as an FYI. So like the other one, let us get our little happy candles down. We need to start with the one I really care about, which is around the place that you write. So I like the idea of that. Funny story. Once I use up my line co, I actually need to use Nuvo glue because I bought the wrong size. So I bought the like super big bottle. So I have a lot of Nuvo glue to use too. And here we go. This isn't really planned at all. I'm just sort of putting the candle somewhere, just somewhere fun. Interesting, I don't use a lot of rose gold, but the rose gold really works here with the pink, I think. And I think there are sort of areas that they intended you to put these in where there's sort of empty spots like this guy. But, you know, obviously you can do whatever you want. You could use none of these or all of them on a single card. You don't necessarily like need to do it in any given way. But anyway, this is this. And I really like this. Let's see. Let's see if I can't use up my foam tape because I have some foam tape. We do have dimensionals as part of the kit, but I'm going to use up maybe the end of my foam tape. I actually bought more foam tape on a D-Stash swap recently. And make sure you're working with the back of your card because I've done that a few times. So basically, I just want enough to pop this up. I'm going to use this up and then probably switch to dimensionals. They should be about the same height. Then let's see, we can just, then we are out of foam tape, right? This is, oh, like it. Is this usable? Not really. Okay, let us, one thing down. Hopefully they're the same height. Are these the same height? They feel the same height. Okay, that's lucky. And a thing I should have tried earlier. These are tiny guys, so I'm just going to put a couple down. The other thing you can do is, if you buy these Stampin' Up! Hexes, like you actually get, along the edge of these, you get a good bit of extra non-hexagonal sort of foam adhesive you can still use too, especially if you're doing it under a panel like this. So we may wind up doing that, or I may just, we have a ton of these. We do have a ton of these in here. But what I would like to do is figure out where the edge is here. I'm just gonna cut this and use this piece as to do most of our heavy lifting, I think. Oops. I did not cut the bottom, but I think there we go. So this is the piece without any dimensionals in it. This is basically usually wasted, but like if you're doing a panel, you can do something like this, and then we're done and we didn't waste any product. But then what I'm going to do is peel all these tiny things off. The one thing I really like about the dimensionals is like the release paper actually does that, where oh, this already has it off. Like these, I forget whose foam tape this is, but some of the more plasticky foam tapes, getting this release paper off is kind of a struggle bus. Oh, we have a paw. Not really. I guess you're out of frame. So with all our junk, we'll just move our junk to the side for now. But with this, we just want to figure out where we want this, and then we're going to do exactly what we did before. FYI, all this foam tape is very sticky, and once it's down, it's kind of down. So we can, if this landed pretty straight, but if it didn't, oh, and here you see I almost glued my card together, but I didn't. Hooray! So this is kind of the look you get if you pop it up. I do like this. I do like this pink and navy. Is really kind of growing on me, because it's like a very, I don't know how it's reading on camera, but it's very like brown leaning pink, like it's an earthy pink, if that's a thing. Let's grab another one of our little adhesive dots for here. I'm definitely saving that twine because I feel like that would look fantastic on like a non-traditional Christmas tag. But here, this whole piece can pop up, and then you have the woo. As you can see, it's thicker, and then here's the original one for contrast. I don't see a huge difference, but well, I don't know. That's not true. You definitely, this looks more like a present, I think, when it's popped up. Anyway, let's put the last one together. Whoa. Let me see what I'm missing. All the saying things that I did not see. Oh, cool. Oh, the recovery gummies. You guys are talking about things. What did I miss? Yeah, I don't know. Like as previously established, I am not that much of a pink person, but I like pink with navy. Like this, I mean, this isn't navy. This is technically Misty Moonlight, which is more like think dark washed. Well, it's more like not a stonewashed jean, but it's like a lighter denim, right? Like as opposed to like a true navy. Whoa, we level down. Actually, you can see in the card base, there's navy and there's the Misty Moonlight. But in any event, I really like that with the pink. I need to figure out what kind of pink this is because I like this pink a lot. I think it's Bubble Bath. We'll see. I'm sure it is probably in the instructions I didn't read, but that's kind of how we roll. So I think here's an area that was sort of intended. I don't know, areas that it looks like there's open spots. I'm just putting these candles in. These remind me of, I don't know if you remember them. I think this was like a thing from, no, I think Belle had got one of these from Scott recently, but some of these, I think of Belle. No, I'm thinking of I think I'm thinking of my friend Steve. Anyway, they had, a friend of mine had like tested out a bunch of these like I don't know what you'd call them exactly, like cake topper things that have like not quite fireworks, but you know what I mean. Sparkly things that you light on fire. I don't know. I think it was a Steve will try it. I'll have to. It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun in a. I worry that your cats would get incinerated, or at least that my cats would get incinerated. His cats are a little more, I don't know, less curious. And Lennox is snoring now. So I guess it's really nap time on Planet Kitty. Here we go. So this one's down, and then we just need to get a little taggy on. I may have mentioned it, but you don't need a ton of glue on when you're gluing paper to paper. That's something I struggled with when I was new, which is like you want to use all the glues and then your card warps a lot. But anyway, I made this one identical to the first one. I really like it. I guess with both the pink and the navy, it's and Stampin' Up! Did this with like their country recent suite as well. It's like it's very gender neutral in in a good way, like in a way that makes me happy. Anyway, let's do the cake one. I was really excited about the cake. And the cake, all we have to do is like stamp something out. We are going to stamp in pink. We don't have a ton of stamping to do, which is also nice. Unless you like stamping, then go nuts. I've been I am a big fan of the sort of like the hooray we were looking at. Some of these die cut sentiments I really started to like. There is I guess I'll say, if you are coming to my usual live that's usually at 6 p.m. Central, we're going to play with perhaps a nice new hello one. Let's see. These are the numbers. Excuse me, are you on my stamp, sir? I don't think you're on my stamp. I don't think you're on much. I think all my other things. Oh, here's my stamps. And if I look, I love these because I can never read stamps in reverse, but what I want is It's Time for Cake, which is this one, which on this pink is going to be kind of tight. So here's hoping it works out the first time. And if you have a sentiment, I've said this before, but if you have a sentiment like this and pulled off the stamp thingy for the first time and it seems warped, you can just like leave it on your table. It'll go back to being aligned. It's easier to tell if they are square, like this one. Is square the word I want? No. If the lines are straight, like these are easy to tell. These curved ones sometimes I still do oopsies on. And let's find out which. And the reason I put these in the corner is the first time well, that didn't help. Often the first time that you use a stamp, it will be Oh, the cat is on my Poke Tool. It will be tricky. It'll be so sticky it'll lift off your paper, especially paper like this, which is relatively thin. Let's do black this time. Oh, we could do gray. Let's see if I think gray and pink is a nice combo. Let's see how I like this. This might be an awful idea, but if it is, we can just do. The nice thing is we can always overstamp with black. I don't know if this picked up anything. It looks. We'll see. We'll see if I like this. I've liked gray and pink a lot together lately, so we'll see. Ooh, I do like this. It's time for cake. So this is in the VersaFine Morning Mist, and because these are a little tricky to work with, I am using my Poke Tool to set these up. After I went through my full diatribe on not liking foam pad, felt pads, these are felt pads, but they work really well. Oops, we lost a fork. Oh dear. But the nice thing about this glitter paper is even if you bang it up a little bit, it still works okay. This is the nice thing about this one is not like a true mirror. It's not showing on camera. Oh, there we are. It showed on camera briefly. There we go. It's more of a foil, which I like because then if you get blueprints on it, it's much less obvious. The mirror stuff is much trickier to work with. So hooray. Then we have one more to do. Then we'll see how we're doing on time. This last card, I think, is, I don't know, less interesting than these first two. So we might just do 6 and call it then if it is, if we are. Yeah, we might we'll do these 3 and then probably call it. And then I'll do the balloon ones off camera. But I really like this cake card. Oh, yes. I haven't watched your video, Lala. Tell us all about your cleaning. I guess the part I was interested in is that if it was you or the video that inspired my declutter was very much based around sort of the KonMari principle of like, you know, taking all your stuff and dumping it into a big pile and then deciding what stuff you wanted to keep. Let's get our ink off the desk because we don't need it. But I did not do that at all for various reasons, mostly because I hadn't researched KonMari at that point. But we will need our hoorays, and we will need our little forkies. We can die cut our other forks. With delicate stuff like this, if you work on the larger end, like the non-tine end of the fork in this case, it can make your life a little bit easier. Put this over here and then wonder where I put my stamp set. That is one of the stamp sets. Are you under the other stamp set, sir? Am I under the other stamp set? Where did I put it? We will need I think we got doubles of these because I think we only need one of each. Anyway, then we might not. There's a second one if we need it. I will just leave this as is because I'm not sure where that stamp set went. But while the other piece, it went somewhere. And it might be on the floor. Anyway, we'll take a look at that in a second. Since our feline friend is on top of our bone folder at the moment, I will just pull these guys. But I mean, in terms of like easy to get into cards, I really like ones like this because You know, it's basically just gluing things down. I do feel like stickers are underrated too. Yeah, I don't know why we got duplicates of this, actually. Because we just need 3. It's a fun idea too. In a way to sort of bring in some of the patterns that already existed. You keep forgetting you're no longer 22. Only 29. At least I think that's what I put on your birthday card. I started just saying happy 29th birthday again to people. Because, I don't know, I think most of my friends are over 29. Only just so slightly. So anyway, we can put these together in any order we want. I believe the suggested order is kind of like this, although, and then because we have multiples on all these pieces, you could even do the entire cake as 1. You could do the entire cake as 2. You could do it, you have a lot of range here. So basically, we're just going to put this together and then figure out where we want to put our hooray sticker, and then we will just put our little "this calls for cake" piece sort of underneath it. Or we could put the "it calls for cake" and then do the hooray. We'll see. But let's get these down. You could do this with tape, obviously, or with glue. I think I'll do glue because I like the ability to move it around a little bit. Hey, Alyssa, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, fantastic. I really like this one. Like, it's weird. I like this one, even though it's rose gold and pink, which are both things that are like not on my top 10 list usually. So, and I'm just going to be very careful before the glue dries, but I'm going to try and match this line here. Now, the smarter thing to do than what I just did is if you want to balance the space, right, putting your last piece layer down. Maybe I can still move this. Nope, it's stuck. Anyway, if you put your top and your bottom layer, and then it becomes easier to balance space. Since I didn't do that, we're going to assume that this has a very thick bottom crust. Or I guess it's not a crust in this case, frosting. Because the layers are the layers, but I'll show you on the second card how to do that if you are a... This also gives us more space for our sentiment if we want to do that. If we look at the suggestions, the suggestion is to put the hooray over the white layer. So we will try that and see if we like it. These are stickers, which makes life very easy. These are like a vinyl sticker, so they're very, you're unlikely to break them, which is nice. So the suggestion was to kind of line it like this. Do that. That's cute. I wonder what it looks like. We could have done it down here too. That is not what I want. I want one of these guys. Now I'm going to put this down here to kind of cover up the fact that I messed up the spacing. The original sort of suggested thing is to do this more like that, right? But you can do it wherever you want. Because we have this weird space here, I'm going to try and cover that up. But keep this in alignment with the hooray. See, because I think that looks pretty nice. And then you don't notice that I jacked up the spacing. Of course, since we have the stamps on this, we could do, if we wanted to replicate this, it would be pretty straightforward to do. And I'm just going to match the edge here on the layers. Whoa. Except that I rubbed my glue off accidentally. Let's try this again. But generally what I would do here is I'm going to try and match the angle here. One of our layers is over a little bit too much, but again, we can cover that up, cover it out. There we go. Then all we need to do is get our little fork on, your little blue oopsie off. Hey, Jenna, welcome. Hey, guys, how are you? Since you are new here, I will show, or not new here, but this is the first card we made. Goes, woo! Especially if you don't glue your cards together. But anyway, I really like this one. This is sort of this navy pink combo I've been really liking. And then we have a very dainty and sophisticated little rose gold fork that we can put on our plate. Although this fork looks a little not the right scale for the plate, but I don't know. It's whimsical. I think you could just drop the... If we look at the instructions I didn't follow, they basically just do it like that. I like that. That is sort of nice to just have it on the edge. It seems like a very small fork for the size of this cake and plate, but anyway. It's a Demi-Tasse fork. Is that a thing? We will pretend that it is, and we will just put that there. There we are. Now, if you get little glue paw prints on here, which I think you might be able to see, I usually just grab a baby wipe. The nice thing about this foil is if you use a water-soluble glue, it'll come right off, but the foil won't come off because the foil basically acts as a resist for water, which is what these things are. So I'm going to go in very carefully and just get it off. If you do this if there's dye-based ink on things and you do this, this will actually get dye-based ink off your resists too. Here you can see. Now it's all shimmery and pretty. I do like the mini forks. Me too. It's interesting though, because these are not... I mean, I feel like this is an idea that we could steal for other things, for scrap usage, because these aren't like inherently cake themed. Oh, look, there's a paw. Lennox wants all the forks and all the cake. I mean, I can believe he wants all the cake, but there he is. He's gone though. We just have a little paw. Little paw. His paw's right here. Anyway. But let's get our other two together and yep. Then we will be good to go. I think for this morning. I do actually like this just randomly floating. I don't know. I was thinking the other day about like in card making our placement of sentiments, where it's sort of like the sentiments don't really have anything to do with like reality, you know, like in the world of the cake, the sentiment doesn't exist. So like it can sort of float wherever. This one I'll do the way I suggested that we do it before. So I know that I have more room to play with here, so I'm going to put a little more frosting space at the top, which I think is something I just made up, but you know. I'm going to grab my bottom piece and sort of try and mirror the amount of spacing I used. But then when we come to the middle one, all we really have to do is even off the spacing, and it'll look as though we intended to do that. Right? So I'm just going to sort of go center here and then fix my lines. And this cardstock is not coated. at all. Like this is just printed, so the glue does adhere very quickly. Just FYI, if you're playing with this kit. So here we go. This is sort of the approach where we lined it all up. So we just need to. I was curious if we put our hooray. I kind of like how they did this actually. I'm gonna put my H down and then just sort of let this float. I do like this. I mean, I feel like having space for the fork makes sense. Let me look at the original. So the original has the It's Time for Cake here, which I don't really like. You could do this, obviously, if you wanted to. This is sort of the idea, but I kind of like it. I like it more centered like this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this again because I kind of like it better. But, you know, you do you. It's your kit. And, I mean, I think the neat thing about either kits or sketches or whatever is like, you know, if you can change a couple things, it then becomes your project, which I think is pretty cool. And what we can do here is just sort of, because the sentiment is a little wider than the cake layer, I'm just going to line it up that way. Here is card number 2. Oh, we need to add our fork, but these are, see, and you don't really even notice that the spacing on this one is kind of weird. We will grab our little dainty fork. Yeah, it looks like my stream to Instagram actually worked, which surprises me because setting it up is, for those of you who exist in the making video realm, setting up the Instagram stream was a little bit weirder. Since this is just sort of laying on here, it does give you a little bit more leeway. And here we managed to do this one without getting glue fingerprints on it, which would be my suggestion, if you can manage that. I have days that I get glue all over everything. The other thing you could potentially do is you could like flip one. Well, you could flip one of these. Does that make sense? No, you can't flip these because they're not symmetrical. But you could cut one. You could cut a clone of one of these that is just a pink or a white, and you could just stamp on that because I think that would be cool. I wonder if we could do that. We could try that as an idea. Does this fit? Yeah, I think we could stamp It's Time for Cake directly on the layer. I think I want to try that. Let's see if we can stamp directly on this layer. I think that would be kind of neat. Just for giggles. So I'm going to need to get my stamp off anyway. So I'm going to just sort of ground. Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm gonna line up the side piece and then the point. Then make sure I don't have any ink on here. I think I'm okay. And then just say this calls for cake. And line that guy or girl or whatever up. And now we see some Linux time. We will have a Linux shout out at the end of the stream for those who are fans. There we go. Because we've used this stamp now, we're not really running into the same issue of it pulling stuff up. So that's kind of the neat part about some of those. And there we go. I'm just going to see how well this stamps. Oh, that's fun. That worked out. Okay. I'm not mad about that at all. There's that. Just going to wipe that clean until we can. And there's the. Now, it doesn't quite stand off as much as it does with the original design. And we will probably want to be a little more careful in terms of lining these things up. As you can see, like, because this is a pink background against all this more muted coloration, like this really draws your eye. So FYI, that's sort of a pro or a con to this idea, but I'm a fan of trying new things. So let's put this together and see how we like it. If this is a win or an oopsie. Yeah, I don't know. I could. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you would like a Linux cam, because we could certainly. I have extra webcams. We could have a Linux cam if you would like a Linux cam, because we could do like a top-down cam that's more, looking where he usually is. We're doing fine on it. So like if I go back and tilt a little bit, like he's usually here. Like my monitor, like here's Linux, here's the monitor, and my Stream Deck is up here. So he's usually like right to the top of my work area. So I could absolutely put another clamp on, and we could have a Linux cam if people want Linux cams in the future. So if you would like a Linux cam, please let me know. Yeah, all the various things. I feel like somebody, like who was it? I guess it was like Ken Hess, who would like always show his dogs because his dogs had a lot of fans on his channel. He was/is a Cricut crafter was a Glowforge crafter and is now involved with Chalk Couture to some degree still. Anyway. Ooh, I like this idea. I kind of like this. I gotta say, this is fun. The hooray, we're gonna have to probably, well, let's not mangle our hooray. You wouldn't have to use one, obviously, but I do think, I guess we'll just sort of put this, I'm gonna line this up with the hooray part. So I lined this up sort of with the scriptier hooray letters between the two layers. So that was kind of the idea. It does kind of imbalance this because now you have this thick layer without anything. But anyway, it's good to try things. If we were doing this again, we could have slid this whole thing down a bit, I think. But you know how that goes. Hindsight on crafting is always 20/20. And it depends on your vibe. I was watching a really cool video yesterday, I guess, from Lindsay Reich. I'm butchering her last name, but the Frugal Crafter on YouTube, who was talking about doing her chat where she talks about lots of things, but amongst other things was talking about essentially perfection in making cards. And if people like a more artsy figuring out, oh, I have this extra piece. So this is Misty Moonlight. So I do have this extra piece from another project. This would be cute to like, I guess I wouldn't use it on this card because I already used It's Time for Cake, but to like double map this, that'd be cute. I may save this for that. Anyway, I always save my extra pieces just in case. But this is our variant. These are the two that are sort of more like the original. So this is the first card that we did. The second card, sorry, this is the first card that we did. We did this Make-A-Wish one with this really cool like accordion piece. This one is longer than what you can get, but you could make a similar version of this. You could like omit this middle piece here, I think, and you could definitely make this. And there's a Linux now. Hi, Linux. You weren't on my stamp set. Well, that makes it curious where that stamp set went. Anyway, I guess we will find that later. We will, I guess, demo on top of Linux because he's here now. But this was the first one we made, and two of these were flat, and then this third one, we popped this whole mechanism up. Anyway, if you want to see a variant of this, let me know if you want to see a variant of this. We could totally do it with 8.5 by 11 because a lot of these accordions wind up taking 12 by 12 paper, which is great if you have it, but not great if you don't. But those were the 6 cards that we made. If I get them out from under the cat, amongst other things that are under the cat. We do have our fancy, something went on the floor. we have our fancy envelopes too that coordinate. So we have this Moody Mauve one that will coordinates nicely with this card, and then we could use. We'll probably use this one with the first card that we did. Or what you can do, you can probably, I don't know if you can tell, and there's adhesive on this part, but you can cross cut this and remove the adhesive and slice the envelope down. The pattern paper runs this whole length of the envelope, so you actually can get a pretty big piece of pattern paper. If you ever get these envelopes and you're like, I like the envelope, but I know that someone's gonna like open the envelope and toss it. So anyway, there's that as a tip too. Hey Wims, how are you? Good morning. And we have one more card that I may make tonight. I tend to like to keep these streams to an hour, so they're a little more consumable for folks. But the final card option, I'll just show it to you, is basically we take this piece that's under the cat. So it focuses, it's a sort of a standard card base. It's a pink card base, which is these guys. So the base card looks like this. And then we basically just add a bunch of ephemera to it in the form of some foiled balloons. That looks like we, I wonder how we make that piece in the middle. So the happy birthday is the banner piece. And then there is, looks like, are we stamping on that? Let's see how we make this. Oh, no, there's no stamping on the balloons. The balloons are just the balloons. Also, this is an upgrade to the instructions. Like, it actually tells you what pieces go in which card. Not that I follow them. And then you get like on the back, you get a master list of all the stuff. So if you do get these kits, these master lists are good if right off the bat, if you want to verify that you have all the pieces. Especially if you're going to like store the kit for later. The other tip I will give you is that from a storage standpoint, if you take these kits out of the boxes, you wind up being able to store a lot more stuff in the boxes. You can get basically like 6 kits in a box. You know, like if you take those kits out and like stand them up vertically in a box like this, you can get like 6 or 8 kits in there. So if you're looking for a solution as to a way to store them that doesn't involve making your own storage solution, hi Lennox. Hey Ron, good morning. That is that. Oh Ron, since you're new here, I will show you the 2 cards we made. We made 3 of each of these with one of our monthly kits. Made a hooray, it's time for cake card. These are both blank on the inside, although I may go back and decorate them. And then this one's pretty neat. We actually reinforced the base with an extra 100-pound piece of cardstock, which also gives you a place you can write if you so desire. But it's this cool, like, handle accordion fold. I really like this card a lot. But anyway, that is what I have for you guys. Thank you for dropping by the vertical stream. We have not done one in a while, and I was feeling like it would be a fun morning to try one of those out. Always good to see you. Hello, Brian. Welcome. Good morning. And feel free to go back and watch more. This was also an experiment, so I didn't see any comments come in from Instagram, but and I may not see Instagram comments on here. I don't know. But I did stream out to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, so all those places are a thing. Anyway, fabulous to see you guys. I will be live tonight in my usual 6 p.m. Central time slot. We are going to be playing with a fun new product that just released from Pink and Main, which you've probably seen oodles and oodles of content on, but I thought it would be, I have a bunch of extra pieces, so I thought we would do that or if I decide that I do need to make a summer card, so I might put up a poll to say, do we want to play with fall cards or summer cards? Anyway, as usual, Lennox likes seeing you, or at least napping, and it was great catching up. Talk to y'all later. If I can find my outro. Here we are.